Hour 13. Another sortie of the JH-7 returns after the first one much earlier in the day, dropping more and more tons of airdrop precision and freefall munitions onto the battalions of the 704th Military Intelligence Brigade, a non-combat unit, continuing to strafe it until its fuel runs low enough that it needs to return back to base, as the 6 different Mech Infantry battalions have been subduing the pockets, the last remaining pockets, along with these 2 artillery battalions who had been shelling them into total oblivion. Meanwhile, to the southeast, Andrews Air Force Base falls to a tank battalion and a Mech Infantry battalion, who both shortly thereafter head into the outer suburbs of DC. To the southeast, the 93rd Mech Infantry Division and all its subordinate battalions have been busy subduing Indian Head, 4 Mech Infantry battalions, who then later also head into the suburbs and run into paramilitary and mixed unit forces, as did earlier this Mech Infantry battalion, and this one as well, whose battle lines are all drawn shortly inside of the outer suburbs of the city. Another Mech Infantry battalion had also headed in, and they had all been pushing in down the streets, building to building, block to block, bloody, savage street fighting. Due to the restrictive nature of the firearms laws within the capital, many civilians cannot participate in the defense, and is mostly just paramilitary and mixed units numbering some 8,000 personnel. Upon defeating the outer ring of installations, including off the map further to the southeast, Quantico and others along the Potomac, the last base in the outer perimeter is subdued by 3 Mech Infantry battalions, squashing 2 elements of 300 each at Fort George of mixed personnel, before crossing the river on the second day. But at the end of the first day, all of these elements, these Mech Infantry and this armored battalion, these elements have pushed into the city and have fought their way through paramilitary and mixed elements, and even into the DC city limits itself, and into the northernmost neighborhoods, and established a battlefront where savage fighting goes on, and a tiny pocket starts to shrink ever smaller and smaller. Meanwhile, Pakistani forces, on the very first day, hour 13, established their headquarters in the city of Manassas with their 3 company elements of a security company, support company, and the HQ company of the entire regiment, and the 4 regimental battalions, 2 Mech Inf and 2 tank battalions, have went their ways. The tank battalion into the city to seize Langley, the C to the I to the A building, where they engage in savage battles outside the building. Also, the Mech Infantry battalion and another Mech Infantry battalion pincer a mixed unit of mixed American service people in the southwestern suburbs of the city, before proceeding to engage more just to the north of them, before they push them into a battle in Arlington Cemetery to fight over the heights for the rights to place their artillery battery of their battalion on the top, to rain shells down upon the pentagram and across the river. I will continue in the next video with day 2. At the end of day 1, we see the perimeter ends right here, right inside of the city proper, with it extending into the suburbs, which will fall by day 3. But for now, the Americans hold a very, very small portion of the city left. And soon, as the Belarusians begin pushing in by day 2, they will lose the airport across the river and the air base across from it. But that will be explored in the next video.